The laser's coming out to zap people. You're going to get zapped if you don't sit down. All right. All right, guys, welcome back. All right. You guys having some fun so far? Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so the next person to present is someone who, I'm going to tell you a backstory to embarrass him a little bit. So, so this is probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I go back home to Utah for family reunion, and my cousin had just gotten married earlier, and so I'm going to this family reunion, and I'm out on a boat with my cousins and my family and everyone, right? And I meet my cousin's new husband, and we're talking, we're hanging out, and after about 5 minutes, he starts pitching me on an MLM. I was like, I love this guy. He's totally like cut from like my own thread. Like, I love it. And so we hit it off, became really good friends, and he was still going to school at the time. A couple of months later, he graduated, and I said, come to Boise, join my MLM. I signed him up, and then he came and he ran my MLM for a couple of years when I was doing that. And then later he started kind of working in our business, just different parts. And he's one of the most talented people I've ever met in so many different areas. And he is someone who I always say that most entrepreneurs are really, really good finishers, or excuse me, really good starters and horrible finishers, right? So I look at John is my finisher. Like, I'm really good at getting things going. He's really good at making sure that like they keep going and that they're amazing. And probably 2 or 3 years ago, we were doing really good at like joint ventures and email marketing, which is like what we're, kind of my bread and butter, what I'm really good at. And we started saying that we got to do more things. We need to be doing Facebook. We need to be doing all these other networks and stuff. And he just jumped right in and started learning them and started doing Facebook, started running all of our Facebook stuff. And they started doing Twitter recently and native ads and all these other things. So he kind of does everything else in the advertising inside of our company. John is the one either doing it or like learning it and jumping in and figuring it out. And he's just really, really smart at that. And so I asked him for this process because he's doing this right now in our company, right? We're creating all this new content. We're doing all these things, putting out all this stuff we're talking about with you guys over the last 2 days. And he's the one kind of now taking these things and what do we do? How can we amplify these? What can we do to promote them? And so he's got a really cool presentation called Promo Hacking. He's going to go over with you guys. And it's going to show you a lot of different ways to get more people to see your content and push more people into your funnels. So everyone, let's stand up and put our hands together for John Parks.
Hey, woo! Thanks, guys. Sit down. Sit down. I just wanted some more cheering. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so yes, Russell tells the story, but I got my own version. Anyway, I won't bore you with it, but promo hacking. Okay, so remember this image, right? This is kind of the theme we've got going this week, right? So we've talked about the funnels, we talked about bridges, Russell talked awesome about platforms and stuff like that. I'm going to help you connect the platforms and the content with the promotion side, okay? Jesse did a great job teaching us how to do his amazing version of that with the Facebook and stuff like that. Love what he's doing. And I'm going to teach you some other things that I've been doing, okay? So that's what we're focusing right here, promotion. Make sense? Okay. So there I was, sitting on the couch, probably playing some game on my phone. My Voxer goes off. And I know it's Russell because he's the only one who Voxes me. And not that I don't have friends, they just aren't on Voxer. Anyway, so we started going back and forth about what the heck am I going to present, right? And we were kind of confused, and we were just kind of trying to draw the lines, like what does Russell want to cover, what does he want me to cover, things like that. And so he said this sentence that kind of became my presentation, and he says, well, just teach them how you would drive the traffic, okay? So this presentation isn't necessarily like Facebook hacks or Twitter hacks or how to understand native ads. What it is if Russell said, here's an offer, how would you drive the traffic? Okay, and so this is what I would do. So you're going to get the John Parks version. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. First thing I would do, retargeting. Okay? Jesse talked about retargeting. Let me talk a little bit more about it. I remember when he asked who knows retargeting, it was about half the room. I'm talking to the other half here, maybe the half who knows what it is already to make sure you're doing it right. So retargeting is, starting from the beginning, you get this guy who visits your website, right? he sees your offer once, he saw your ad once, it got him there, whether it was organically or whether it was an ad who got him to your website. Once he shows up on your website, he at least was interested enough to get there, so why don't you follow him around a little bit more, show him your billboards a little bit more, then he's going to take action. You've all heard the idea that, some people say 7 or 10 times a person sees your ad, then they're going to take action, right? So let's show it to him more, okay? So that's what retargeting is. So it puts a cookie on his computer, or I think there might be some that are database driven or something like that, but it puts him in a situation where then when he goes around the internet, whether it's on Facebook, if you're using Facebook specific retargeting, or whether it's on other websites, putting banners around there and things like that, follows them around and shows them all kinds of stuff. I didn't know this was happening a few years ago. I went to P90X, I saw that cool workout video, and all of a sudden P90X was everywhere. Anybody done that? Like, holy cow, what is their ad spend? They have like 90% of the internet? What the heck's going on, right? No, they're just retargeting me. Facebook has a retargeting pixel, okay? It's fairly easy to get to if you get into your Facebook Ads Manager. Up in the Tools section, Facebook's always changing their interface, but right now there's a little sideways bar if you're in the latest version. It says Tools, click on that. It says either Pixels or Audiences, depending on what latest version of the Ads Manager you have. Click on that, and you can get some pixel code, okay? It looks like that. You don't even know what the heck that says. I don't know what the heck that says. All I know is I make sure that I copy it from the beginning all the way to the end without missing a single piece of it, because it's code. And then I paste it right into ClickFunnels. Up here in the settings in your editor, I open that up. Right here you can't really see it, but it says tracking codes. So I click on tracking codes, a little box pulls up, and I just paste it in there. Then I'm done, okay? My tracking code is now on my website. Do that on all your pages in case somebody shows up on a different page, and they don't go through your first page through the sequence. If somehow they get on another page, then they'll also get cookied. But now what happens is that you can now chase them around the internet, okay? Until they clear their cookies or something. So retargeting is really cool. The platforms that you can use it on, like I said, is Facebook. It's free there. It's called Building a Custom Audience, okay? Adroll.com is another one I've used. I have not used Retargeter, but it's similar to Adroll from what I hear. Just two different guys doing the same thing, right? Adroll is neat because it allows you to pixel somebody, and then that's the one that lets you go on other websites, okay? So you can, if you pixel somebody with Adroll pixel. So again, remember what I'm saying? I'm saying the first thing that I would do. The first thing I would do is I would go and grab pixel code from Facebook, pixel code from Adroll, and I would put it right there. Step one, okay? Do it in 5 minutes, that's done, okay? What's neat about setting up a campaign in Adroll right now is they'll actually make the banners for you for free. They got this thing going on where they say, hey, we'll make the 5 best banner sizes for you for free. Give us some copy if you want us to follow some copy guidelines. Give us some images if you have something you prefer. Otherwise, we'll make our own. But we'll make your ads for you because we just want you to use our platform and start spending money. Okay? Clever on their side. Makes it easier on your side. If you like their ads, go with it. If you want to try your own, go with that. So, like I said, a review, the concept of retargeting. You capture your visitors on any page they're coming to. Capture those who abandoned your cart. I'm sure you've heard of abandoned cart, but those of you who are new to retargeting, so they go through your funnel and they get to a point where they might actually buy something, right? You're going to have some fall off on that page where they have to put their credit card in. Capture them right there so you can retarget to them and say, hey, come back to the cart. Come buy this thing. You really wanted it once. Just remind them of it, right? They might have got distracted or for whatever reason. So capture the visitors, capture the abandoned cart, capture your buyers for 2 reasons. One, exclude them from your ads, so you're not having to repay to show ads to people who already bought, right? So exclude them from your ads that are going to these other 2, but very much so have that audience for other offers. They're buyers. Buyers lists rock, right? Who wants a buyer list? Make a buyer list. Okay, cool. Second thing I do. Am I speaking too fast? Okay. Sometimes I speak really fast, so I'm trying not to. I'm trying to speak like NPR, said Lucho. So utilize all your existing lists, okay? This sounds like a no-brainer, but people don't do it. They forget. Do you have an email list? If you do two things. Email them the offer. Also upload that email list into Twitter. It's called a tailored audience. Just upload it into Twitter, and Twitter says, oh, we recognize some of those emails. Here's a custom audience that's your people on Twitter, right? Do the same thing on Facebook. It's called a custom audience. So take your emails, upload them onto Facebook. Facebook says, we recognize those email addresses. Here's a custom audience you can run ads to. So it's your people. So to your people, you send them an email. They see your ads on Twitter. They see your ads on Facebook. Who in this room saw a lot of Russell Brunson ads over the last few days? All of you, right? Because you guys were in my custom audiences, and I was just hammering you guys. So you saw those all over Facebook. Cool. Existing fans and followers, okay? So if you have a fan page already, use it. Put your ad on the page, right? Also, run an ad, and when you're in the Facebook Ad Manager, there's a spot right there where it says connections. If you click on that, you can say, just give ads to my fans, okay? From all my testing, that is super cheap. You get super, super cheap stuff that way. So build a fan base on your page, and then run ads to just those fans, okay? Have it be its own ad set so you can see how cheap it is. And once it burns out, once those fans have, depending on how big they are, you'll spend so much and they'll see that ad so much they'll stop interacting with it, then you can turn it off. But use it because it's there. The next thing is friends of fans in that same area in your Facebook Ad Manager. Under connections, look for connections. It says which page are you talking about? Choose the fan page you want to advertise for. And then instead of choosing fans, choose the friends of fans. So those are, like if you were in LinkedIn, it would say first connection, second connection, right? So who are the friends of your fans? Run an ad to them, okay? It's a lot larger audience, 10 times as big, lots of times, or more. It can reach into the millions really easily, your friends of fans list. And they're often responsive. You'll see the ad expense there per result, so per click, probably about twice as expensive as your fans, but it's a good one to start with, okay? Lookalike audiences. Who's used lookalike audiences on Facebook? Some of you have. So when you upload either a custom audience, which is your email list, or whether you have some fans on your fan page, either of those can be used to create a lookalike audience. A lookalike audience is Facebook going out and saying, it sure seems like your list tends to be females who are married, who have children, between the ages of 2 and 4. Oh, that's because you sell strollers? Okay, so like they'll find that lookalike audience, right? And they'll put it together for you. And you can say if you want it specific or if you want it really big. You can have it small and specific, which is usually around 1 million people, or you can have it really big in general, which tends to perform less well, but you've got this big old audience that'll last a long time. So you can make both. There's no limit on how many lookalikes you can choose, but make a lookalike audience of both your email list and your fan base, okay? So that's the next thing I would do, is utilize all existing lists that you have. Lots of times when people say use your list, they think only email. Well, here's all the different ways you can use the list. Cool? Okay, third thing I would do. Generic focus targeting, okay? So for all of you Facebook advertisers out there, hold on to your hats. This is going the other direction, okay? We're swimming upstream now. So I tried this just out of trying to understand advertising platforms. And it's surprising how well it works when it works, okay? So I'm not saying always do this and only do this. I'm saying try this. Okay, I call it generic focus targeting. I just made that up. So you can call it whatever you want. First, to understand what it is, you need to understand the concepts of ad networks, okay? So what are ad costs? So there's an ad network out there. What do they have for sale? Tell me, raise your hands, or just yell it out. Ad space, right? So like on Facebook, it would be the side and whatever % of the middle they're willing to give up, right? That ad space. That's what they have for sale. That's their product, called their inventory, okay? Do you think that all their inventory is created equal? No? So what would make it different? So what was that? How targeted, yeah. Position on the page, yep. So above the fold, someone said. So it's position on the page. The right side is get less attention than in the middle, right? What other things could make that inventory different or unique? Competition. Competition for that inventory, okay? Yeah, and then somebody mentioned how specific or picky you're being with your targeting, okay? So let me tell you a story so you can understand this. I went to Home Depot, right? I'm not a handyman by any means. I tried to, but I went down the aisle with all the screws, and there was just a bunch of different screws. They had different sizes and lengths, but then I was like, okay, well, I want it to be this big, and I want it to kind of have the wood type of swirls, not the metal type of swirls. But still, there was like this brass-looking one, and there was like this zinky-looking one, and there was like this black-looking one. And I'm like, why are there so many different screws? I just need to put one piece of wood together to another piece of wood, right? And the crazy thing is that they were all priced differently. Okay, so I wanted to do one thing. I had one purpose, to join two pieces of wood together, okay? But I could pay a lot of money for a screw to do that, or less money for a screw to do that, okay? So with that in mind, think about what your purpose is on a Facebook ad, okay? You want somebody to click on that ad and get to your website, right? You could probably get that click by paying a lot of money for a really fancy screw, or a lot less money, depending on how picky you are, or depending on what the competition is, things like that, okay? So with that in mind, well, so I get this question a lot. I'm running ads, but it's too expensive and there's no profit. Well, let's see if you run this kind of ad and if it can really decrease your ad spend, okay? So let's try an ad set where you're not being too specific and when you're not going after too competitive. Just out of curiosity, who here has run an ad to an interest Tony Robbins? All of you. Okay, is that highly competitive? Probably, right? Okay. Who's used Audience Insights? Good, a lot of you. I'm glad you have. Okay, so let's say that my interests typically, say I'm going after a market like Bonnie, for example. So I'm going after Fabian. Who else do you got there? Mary Folio, Lewis Haas, Cobbler. Who is that? Derek Cobbler. Yeah. So so you've got this feminine entrepreneur type audience, female, women on fire networks, right? Things like that. So say I'm going after those interests. I could just put all those interests right there, I could just put them in my ad and run into those interests. But what else could I do? If I come over here to Audience Insights and I put them in here into this interests area, what happens down the middle is I start getting all these demographic details about these people, okay? So I just put a series of interests in there that are very closely related. If you go branching at all, then the demographics won't really make sense. But people who are like nearly identical, right, in their audience. So, who are like all exactly internet marketers, not necessarily somebody who's a real estate investor who markets online. You know what I mean? Stay very, very niche specific. So put them here in the interest section. You'll notice that your demographics sort themselves out real cleanly, okay, typically. So you'll notice in that instance with Bonnie's audience that it'll be very strongly women audience, okay, maybe 80%, 85%. You'll probably notice that the audience will be ages 25 to 56 or something, right? So it'll be right in there. You'll notice that they all have some college education. So they've gone past high school. They've at least had some college or completed college or gone into master's programs or doctorate programs. You'll notice that that more than what's typical on Facebook, or maybe 70% or so, are married or in a relationship, okay, with those successful women. You'll notice that they almost all live in the United States and Canada. You'll notice that, right, so you'll start noticing all these things. You'll notice that their job title that they've declared on Facebook, which is something that you can target in here, is management or executive type of title, or a lot of them are found in the ads and entertainment and that space too. A lot of them identify in that space too. So arts, I meant to say arts and entertainment and stuff like that. So all of a sudden you have all this data on these people without ever actually calling them out, okay? So now you go and run an ad to So super generic, right? So to women, too generic, right? But to women who have an executive title, who are between ages of 25 and 56, who are in a relationship, who have completed higher education, who have, what was another one? Who have, yeah, are in the US and Canada. So all of a sudden, using very generic data that Facebook has, really cheap impressions, you've been able to find your audience without actually calling them out on their interests. Does that make sense? You guys getting that? So you're finding them through Facebook's bargain aisle, right? Cool. So that's what I'm saying. Is that cool? Yeah. Cool. Anyway, fun thing to try. So definitely try that. I want to show you guys something on Twitter here that was really fun to do. Why Twitter ads for us right now? Mainly for Periscope, right? Russell said, I've got Russell's marketing quickies. They're awesome. They're on Periscope. Twitter owns Periscope. So give me more followers, John, right? So I do. So here I come into Twitter, and I run off of Twitter's ad platform. Very similar to Facebook. Tends to be a bit more expensive for result, but that's where we wanted our people. So we came into Twitter. And I decided to try that bargain aisle approach, right, with Twitter. I tried a bunch of other approaches too. This one actually ended up giving me the cheapest results. So I'm going to start this. It's kind of fuzzy, you can't really see, but it's an animated image. This right here is the number. So what we're looking at here is interests inside of Twitter. Twitter generated these. These are Twitter's generic browsed interests, okay? These aren't something that I had to type in. These are Twitter's generic browsed interests. There's probably only 100, maybe 50 of them total. So this is the bargain aisle stuff. So what I did was I put up some ads to what I thought would be the right audience, okay? So I said business people, marketing people, people who like financial magazines, that kind of stuff, trying to get as close as I could to people who'd be interested in building a business. And so I did that, and I ran those ads. I let it run for a few days, and then I went back into it and I said, okay, now that they've kind of self-selected themselves, those who are going to follow Russell from that batch over those 3 days did, okay? Let's see what they say they're actually interested in, instead of just me choosing it. So I came over here and I sorted by interest, and here I see all the people who followed us and under what interest category and what the follow rate is. So that means of the people who likes politics and current events, 120 of them we got to follow, or of our followers are 120, and the follow rate is 0.22%, which is pretty high. So I know that this interest right here is a winner, right? Is that making sense? Because it has a high follow rate, and the reason I look at the followers is because you can have like one follower and it came from one impression, so you got 100% follow rate. So I'm not calling that legit data, right? I'm getting to where there's enough followers to really kind of give me a rounded follow rate. And then I just sort by number of followers, so I know I got the big ones, and then I just pick out the high follow rates. Is that making sense? And I put those in a specific interest ad, is what I called it, just to make it different from my more generic interest ad. Again, we're using Twitter's predetermined interests, so it's bargain aisle stuff, right? So you just see me scrolling through here. I know it's kind of flickery with the animated GIF, but anything that was above 20 followers that had a follow rate that was above 0.20, right? It's kind of where I set that parameter just arbitrarily, because I just kind of looked at, well, what's my average? What's kind of a high end of that? So I just arbitrarily chose what I thought was on the top half of the follow rate with a decent number of followers. Cool? So what happened? September 11th, I was getting followers at about $4.29, which if you look out there, everyone's saying that's about average, right? On Twitter, it's expensive to get a follower on Twitter. 3 days later, I did my specific interest, half the cost. Cool? Bargain aisle strategies, cool? Okay. Facebook, a little bit more on the Facebook ads here. Make sure you look at the metrics, especially when you're trying to get this generic focus. So, here's an ad that I was running. And so this is something that Facebook threw up there, right? And so I looked at it. I'm like, oh, Facebook's giving me data. Let's look at it. What it's showing me is women versus men, and kind of which one's cooler. No, I'm just kidding. Which one's better for my ad, right? So here over on the men, on this specific ad with this specific message, it's about 70 cents per result over here, okay? And on this one right over here with the women, it was $1.17 per result. So immediately, and over here you notice that almost 60% of my results were coming from the men anyway, and 34% from the women. So I decided, you know what, let's just ditch the women on this ad. Go with the men because it's appealing to them. And then let's look here into the age bracket of the men. Okay, so I didn't make it that young. I knew that wouldn't appeal to my people. I noticed right here that I'm getting real good blue over green. So blue's the results. All the way up through, this is a weird outlier, but all the way up through here, right? I predetermined that this age group right here was probably just a little bit more mature than I was going for this more of a appeal to the techie type ad. So I decided to stay within this block. So I said 18-year-old through 55-year-old age range that's only men. Okay, you following me there? So like what I'm saying, what I'm teaching you to do is look at the metrics because they're going to teach you something. And then this next, I clicked on this one right here to see what the placements were. I didn't want that audience network. I usually don't do that right now. I feel like it's kind of sorting itself out still. You're welcome to try it. I'm totally an advocate of trying things, okay? For whatever reason, Facebook didn't display it much on the desktop newsfeed, but there was a lot of impressions over here. So I noticed that the right column, ads, were coming in at 60 cents a result versus the mobile ones at 91 cents a result. So what did I do? On this ad, I just stopped serving to mobile. And I decided, well, let's just create a new ad set that serves only to, on the right column, to men in that age bracket, and see if that changes things, right? To the same audience, I just decided to narrow it down by those metrics. What changed? $1.07 per website click changed to 74 per website click, just by making those changes, right? And this is an expensive website click, but depending on what you're trying to get out of your people, right? But you can see the result, the difference, how it changes. Is that cool? So look at your metrics. Look at your metrics. That's nothing crazy. I mean, Facebook's posting it right there. Do you have a question? You can't really see. The reach here was a couple thousand, I think. So it depends on how much you spend. So what's more important is how many people it was served to. Because if you want to spend $1,000 tomorrow, you get enough data. You know what I mean? But if you're only going to spend $5 a day, maybe wait a few days. I like to see the reach hit 1,000. That's what I usually tell people, 500 to 1,000. You could probably call the shots at 500. I think you would probably be pretty accurate. But let that reach get out there, meaning that enough people in Facebook have seen it and that they've kind of self-selected and decided where they are and what they want, right? Cool. Other Facebook tips, okay? How many of you have ever thought of doing this? So Russell's a big advocate of split testing, right? Split test stuff. ClickFunnels is awesome because it allows you to split test landing pages, split test your headlines and your videos and your landing pages. So, but that can take time, right? Because to get somebody to your landing page, they have to see your ad, they have to take action on your ad, then they have to come to your page, then they have to take action on your page for you to know which one they liked. So you're pretty far in there, right? So you're having to spend quite a bit of money to be able to split test the results on your page, okay? Somebody suggested this to me. I thought it was a genius idea, and it worked awesome for them. Can't remember who it was, or I'd give them a shout out. But if it was one of you, thanks. It's a good suggestion. To take that way back to the beginning of your efforts, okay? So here's your Facebook ads, and they're getting impressions all the time, really cheap, right? That's what they have to have 1,000 impressions for you to start getting results. So they're getting blasted out there. And so start taking your advice, your split testing advice from the headlines on your ads. Does that make sense? So throw up some ads with 3 different headlines. watch what those do. Use the headline that wins as your landing page headline. Does that make sense? Why wouldn't we do that? Anyway, it's a really clever idea. Just taking that, so all of a sudden, you're like 3 or 4 steps back in the sequence where you can now split test your landing page headlines in the way earlier, right? Whoever told me that they did this at like 4 times the success of their landing page. So it was a cool idea. So I thought I'd pass it on. Okay, Facebook verified. Jesse talked about this a little bit, but this is definitely something I would do if it's an option for you. Facebook says right now we're only accepting verification requests from pages that represent celebrities, public figures, pretty generic, sports teams, media, and entertainment. Okay, so not businesses necessarily. But guess what Russell is? A celebrity or a public figure, right? Look at that, verified. See that little check mark? You have to have 30,000 likes to get verified before you can ask to be verified, okay? So if you want to write this down, it's a shortened link. It takes you straight to the please verify me page. So it's shortened goo.gl/. It's case sensitive, so we got a big S, big K, little f, big M, little r, number 7. Okay, I just shortened it for you. It's a horribly long link otherwise. So go right there. Once you have 30,000 likes, Jesse taught you how to get 30,000 likes really cheap. Once you have 30,000 likes and you can declare yourself a public figure, we declared Russell an entrepreneur as a public figure, right? Or anything, a celebrity, a speaker, an author, whatever you want to call yourself. Then you can be verified. What's cool about being verified? We're not quite sure, but I'll tell you some correlations, okay? Some correlations. One is that it looks really cool. There's not a lot of people who have that stamp, okay? That's one correlation. You feel cool. Another correlation, we think it prevents your ad accounts from getting shut down as easy. It seems to have had that effect for us, okay? I don't know that for sure. But why not? If Facebook says, yeah, this person's definitely legit, and this is definitely their page and their celebrity, you'd think that ads running to that page might have a little bit more credibility in Facebook's, ad verification people. Seems to be that way, okay? Anyway, yeah, if you can get verified, definitely do that. Okay, the next thing that I see too many of you not doing on your fan pages, which is definitely something I would do as soon as Russell said, hey, give me some traffic, okay, is to put these up here and down here. It sounds silly and they seem small, but to our coaching application, our high-end coaching applications, we get 5, 6, 7 extra applications every week because these are here. And those are high-end, that's worth money. Those applications are hard to come by. So they're called Facebook apps. Just Google it, and I'm sure someone has a YouTube video showing you how to get them up there. That's what I did. You get put a little image right here and a little headline right there. You can do as many as you want, from what I can tell. 3 was good enough for us. At the same time, they show up here just textually. So they're text up there with a little image on this side. People click on those like crazy, way more than I thought. I'm going to show you another reason you want those. It's because there's this little fun hack over here. Double duty ads. Okay? So Jesse taught you how to get great promote your page likes to your page. Well, the thing that I'd never tried until recently, and it's really fun. I think it's a little flickery again, but you'll see where I'm going with it. I'm actually going to go through the process here of just showing you exactly where to click. So if you were to click that you want to promote your page ad, meaning you want to get likes to your page, that's your objective. So you choose the page. You come down here. Scroll down. So to where it's going to ask you what your objective is. Make sure it's page likes. That's what you're going for, right there. Let Facebook do the bidding so you get them at the best price. Then you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. There's this little box at the very bottom. You guys have to play with this and let me know how it works. So keep scrolling all the way to the bottom. I know it's flickering, sorry. You'll see it right up there, right there. Show advanced options, okay? And it says basically, where do you want us to drop them once they like your page? Where should we put them? Well, look at those. Those are my 3 tabs that I had, right? Coaching application, 25K giveaway. Right there. Well, if they're liking my page, well, you might as well drop them on my sales page too, right? Why not? Cool, huh? So double duty ads, what I call it. So test those out. Those are fun to run. Cool, cool. All right, Facebook's over. Everyone stand up, shake it off. Woo! You learned some stuff about Facebook? Okay. Thank you. Anybody know any cool breakdancing moves? You can come up here and like pop and lock for us. Capoeira, something. If I had my wife here, I'd do some real dancing for you, but I'm more of a couples dancer, not a solo dancer. So. Okay, native ads. Who's kind of explored the world of native ads a little bit? Cool, this is going to be fresh territory. Native ads, sometimes called content ads or inline ads or things like that, interstitial ads potentially. Native advertising. This little graphic here just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. So this is like, say this is a news site or a blog or something like that. There's all these recommendations of different articles you could read. Well, one of them might actually say sponsored on it, right? Kind of like Facebook does, and it's just a little ad blurb right there. There could be a banner ad up here or something down there. So native ads are on a site, like Russell said in his presentation, and they look like they're linking you to like maybe another post on the same site, or another article or something, right? So here's one, controversial limitless drug used by rich people. How many people think you can use the word drug on Facebook ad? Kind of hard to use that one. You might get it approved for a little bit. Or the word controversial. They might not let that one go. This mom earns 7K a week. How many of you can use that phrase in your Facebook ad? Okay? Or on Twitter or anything like that. You know, big old T-bill here or whatever. Homeowners are in for a big surprise in 2015. Kind of a sensational headline there. So these ads are cool. There's a lot of benefits. Oh, we're going okay. Because you can do crazy stuff with them. And I'll tell you the benefits in a minute. But where are you going to find these? There's kind of 2 places, 2 people who have these ads. There's the link arbitrage guys, right? And their entire purpose of having a site is to get eyeballs on the site so that they can sell ad space. And their site has like this much content and like this much ads, right? You guys have been there, right? You're somebody on Facebook clicks like, you know, seven secrets to getting flat abs, right? And you click on it and there's like this, the page takes like an hour to load because there's so many ads, right? And then once it does load, it's giving you 1 secret per page and you got to click to the next page so more ads can load to see the next ad, the next thing, right? So these are some of those. I just grabbed some for you so you could see them. There's a trillion of them. If you want to write some of those down or something, you can find really fast and easy a bunch of these ads there. The reason you want to find them, I'm excited too. No, if you want to find them real fast, they're right there. You can find them right there and you can swipe them and stuff like that. Another place you can find them in a little bit more responsible manner would be some of these bigger news networks. So Forbes, TechCrunch, The Guardian, Washington Post, ABC News. Those are all using native ads from these ad networks I'm going to show you. Okay? So this is one of those ad spammy sites that just has ads everywhere. This is kind of what it looks like. The content was up here. I get 1 of 12 of my secrets up here. This one is, the 10 worst fast food ever made. Don't look at that. You get 1 of them there, and you got to click next and load all the ads again to get the second one. Okay. So this is kind of what those look like. You can typically notice it says sponsored by, and this one is Rev content. They'll have ads down here. They'll have ads down here. You can kind of get a feel for what's working, right? Distort a celebrity's head, destroy the planet, right? Get arrested. These are all.
What's the new rule? Like Boise? We all
I know. What is that new rule? I'm wondering too. So here it is on Forbes. So you've got Forbes at the bottom of the page. You know, a little bit more responsibly displayed. These ones are ads by Gravity, another ad server, ad network are these. Look at this. Forget the iPhone 7, next Apple sensation revealed. Right next to it. Forget the iPhone 7, next Apple sensation revealed. What headline's working? That one, right? Anyway, so that's what they look like on Forbes. This is what they look like on the bottom of TechCrunch. Really similar. They kind of just blend in. Recommended content. Sometimes it'll say promoted stories. What does it say? Okay. But we'll pass by that one. So why do you want these native ads, right? Cheap clicks. Really cheap cost per click here. I've noticed it to be ballpark of half of what Facebook costs to get a click to your website off of these. Watch your conversions though. Make sure your conversions are happening so people are taking action on your site. Make sure that that kind of matches, you know, the cost per conversion matches, because they are cheap clicks. Tons of volume available. Some of you might be running up against your favorite audiences in Facebook might be kind of getting burned out of your ad. Move them over here. Tons of volume. Tons. Millions and millions of impressions available. They'll approve almost anything, right? Sensationalist, testosterone base, you know, lose weight tomorrow, earn $1,000 yesterday. Most of them will get approved if it goes to a page that they're okay with on the second page. So I'm talking like images that are controversial, copy that the other networks don't like, landing pages that they don't like. All of those are being approved by these native ad networks. They do kind of monitor the complaint levels, and they can, after you run it for a while, say, we're taking your ad off because of high complaints, right? So as long as the people who are interacting with your ads and going to your landing page like what they're seeing, and it's relative to the ad, and they're not clicking on, you know, a distorted Obama face, and then it takes them to like how to lose weight because that doesn't match at all. As long as you're not being super incongruent like that, then you should be good, and you can get all kinds of stuff approved here. So definitely fun to work with. Okay, so native ads. Let's run some native ads, okay? Let's learn how to hack them. This is what I would do if I was reverse engineering native ads. How am I doing on time? Am I okay still? Okay. All right, so the first thing I would do, find trends in your niche, okay? Let's look at this. What images are people using? What headlines are they using? What themes are you getting out of this, right? So let's look at this. You called it. What's the new rule in Idaho, Meridian, Idaho? I don't know. What's the new rule in Meridian, Idaho? What's the new Meridian rule? Surprising drivers. Okay, all these ads just keep popping up. Different people serving them, different photos, but they all have this very specific theme, okay? Lots of times these are going to insurance ads or things like that, or, you know, like, or figure out the car's history type of a landing page or something like that. But see the trends. I want you to start noticing trends now and looking at native ads like Russell does. Don't read the content, read the ads, right? Who can see a theme here? Animals, right? Up close faces, animals, almost in attack, right? So it's kind of a sensationalist picture. It's like this guy's screaming, if you can see it, and you know, a horse is about ready to bite his ear off. This guy's about ready to be eaten by Jaws, but he's happy about it. So, you know, there's a baby hanging out with Shere Khan. But they all have the same headlines, right? Plus or minus a few words. 200 family photos that went very wrong by this website. 27 scariest photo bombs of all time. 28 most perfectly timed photos that every photographer dreams of capturing. So there's a theme going on here. Look at this, random photos, random pics that are hilarious. You must see these hilarious, embarrassing photos. 27 family photos that went very wrong. It's almost the exact same headline here. They just didn't want to serve 200 results. They only wanted to serve 27. I bet it actually converts better, right? Easier to build that page too. Theme here, we have fairly blonde, attractive women, right? Photographer had no idea what was about to happen. So Really similar theme on this one, right? All about photos. Come look at a bunch of photos that are going to entertain you. That's what this theme is, okay? Anthony DiClemente, you want to come up here? I have a little exercise for you. Not that you need exercise. Ready? 500. Anthony's a well-built fellow, isn't he? Trying to pull your shirt up for everyone? I'm just kidding. Okay, so do you think you could write something about that? Diabetics do this one thing before eating sugar, something that could kind of reduce your insulin spike.
Yeah.
Cool. He could write that. You probably already wrote an email on it. Something that could attract people in your market, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, what about this one? Would I eat Nutella knowing what I know now? Could you write something on that?
Yeah.
Cool. Would it be a difficult thing for you to create a landing page like that or a blog post?
No.
No, super easy, right? 5 best CrossFit YouTube channels. Could you find those? Mm-hmm. So is this seeming difficult to make these for you?
No.
Nope. 7 tips for dining out and eating healthy. Most of you could probably write that one. You could write that one, right?
Yeah.
I saw you write an email about that or some kind of post about that recently about what to do before you go out to eat with friends or something.
Yeah.
15 exercises for absolutely perfect legs. You could put that up in no time. Simple trick to boost free testosterone levels. Top 5 moves for perfectly shaped booty. All these are winning native ads, right? You don't have to say booty if you don't want to say booty. Top 10 fat-burning foods. Cool? So I want you to see how awesome and easy it would be to get on the ad networks with content that you probably already have in your back pocket. Cool? What you would do is, you could do a variety of things. You could do a video that explains this. You could do a blog post that's just littered with hyperlinks that when you click on it, encourages them to opt in to get more something, right? But isn't this crazy? And so in your network specifically, in your niche, these things are going crazy.
So you would drive the native ad to a blog post and then to an opt-in?
Yeah.
Okay.
A variety of things. So people are driving native ads and effectively to video sales letters. They are dropping them right on it. I know that Russell was talking earlier about, it might be a better idea. You definitely want to test it, right? To drive them to content that felt a lot like where they came from, right? If they're reading an article, then send them to maybe an article. If they're watching a video, then send them to a video, right? So they kind of have that congruency. But yeah, teach them some stuff, give them some good content, but within that, and I'll show you an example of it, just litter the dang thing with calls to action, right? Like have an interesting sentence. Actually, when you click on it, just generate a pop-up that says, want some secrets, put your email in here, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, cool. I just wanted you to see those. Thanks, man.
And then with that
yeah.
after opt-in, would that redirect to a sales page?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Once you give them some content, get some kind of capture, drop them on your sales page. Cool? Easy, huh? I mean, you guys might not all be in the health industry, health and wellness stuff, but how many of you have 7 tips about your niche that could kind of interest somebody? Yeah. How many of you have the top 10 things? How many of you have that one weird thing, right? All of these can be structured in short videos or fun little posts. I mean, just almost anything that you email out, you can take that content and recycle it, drop it on a ClickFunnels page, call it a native ad, run an ad to it. Second thing I would do when reverse engineering native ads. Recreate their landing pages, okay? So not only swipe the ads, but figure out where the ads go when you click on them. Is it news-like? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? Is it news to news? Are you seeing that a lot? Are you seeing people drop to video sales letters? I see that surprisingly more than you'd think. It must be effective. They're doing it a lot. Is it a pre-sale page? Is it a page that kind of just talks about you and what you do before they go to take any action or before you call them to do much about it, So is it a pre-sale page, a news-like page, a video sales letter? Recreate those landing pages. Let me give you an example of one we just did. Now we're exploring this native ad networks too, right along with you. So we're really excited about it. So let me show you one that we created over here. Here's one that we really liked. Russell showed it to me. I liked it. He liked it. It's it tells you right here. It's an advertorial, right? It's not hiding the fact. But see this little click right there, and that little click right there, and that's clickable right there. That's clickable. Little opt-in box right there. This is clickable up here. All this stuff just generates an opt-in or drops you to the sales letter. It's all over the place. This one says a video online explaining exactly what he's doing. Click on that, it takes you right to where he wants you to go see a video online of what he's doing, right? Discovering Lee's viral video, you can click right there, okay? So I like the structure of this, and it's getting ads running to it, so I decided to funnel hack it. You can see, it's not too long, a few myths right here. An image that looks like a video, if I click on it, would actually take me to a video. A call to action to take me to the video. Okay, so there's some elements here. It's not that long. I saw this and I said, you know what? I can build that in ClickFunnels in an hour or two, right? So the two things I want you to get from this. One, start seeing pages in ClickFunnels Editor Vision, okay? I showed this to Russell, and I wish I had saved a version of it before I had filled it out so you could see what I did, because it really helped me. So some of you might feel like you go too slow in the ClickFunnels page building process. I'm going to teach you a trick right now that's really going to speed it up. See this page with ClickFunnels Editor Vision? Block out your page before you put any content into it, okay? Put all those blocks, like building blocks. Put all the Legos together, and then put the content in it, okay? So what I did was I saw this page and I said, okay, here's one section. Here's another section. This right here is another section. I can see that it's kind of narrow, so I'm going to make it a little bit narrow. It's not a full page. I can see that there's 2 columns. I can see that I need to push this column over to the right a little bit. I can see right here what's called an image feature, which is an element in ClickFunnels that has an image, a headline, and some body text. I can see another one here. I can see another one there. I can see another one there. I can see an image feature right here. This time the image is on this side, and the image is like the 20%, 80% probably. All of these are in ClickFunnels. Real easy. So I throw this block up. Section, headline, 2-column, section with 2-column, element there, element there, element there, element there, big element right there, text element right here. Things change right here, so I'll probably do a different text element or headline piece right there. You guys following along with me? I put together the outline of this page real fast. And the cool thing is once I have that blocked out like Legos, then all I need to do is, I can actually just clone that a few times and make different ones, right? Another text block right here, a headline block right there, because I can do cool things on the right, on the left side of headlines. I can do little check marks or asterisks or things like that. So a little graphical headline right there. A text block right here, right? And I just saw this page like it was like the Matrix. I saw the code, right? I saw the blocks, the ClickFunnels blocks, the building blocks. What is this one right here? Image feature, right? We've got an image, headline, body text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I just clicked duplicate, 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 and I had a bunch of them, right? A text block right here, a headline right here, because I want some kind of, eye-catching element on this side of the text. And an actual just insert the image from ClickFunnels right there. It's clickable. Boom. I had my whole page built. I just needed to put the content in. So I built it over here. Section, clickable button. Click right here to register now. Everything in here leads to, register your spot now. Even these ads over here. Here's the image feature all the way down. Clickable button. Can you see how I just swiped it? Cool, huh? Super easy to do. Super easy to do. Give ClickFunnels a hand, right? Why not? Swipe your native ad landers. Super easy. But do that next time because you can get super stuck on making that headline look just right 2 hours later, right? Just block it out. Okay, next thing I do. Or let's look at a couple of things. Third thing. Choose your ad network, okay? Those are your choices from what I can find. There's one more that I've found since I made this. It is Yahoo has their own called Gemini. I don't spell. That's my wife. She spell checks everything for me. Shareaholic, from what I can tell, is super new. I interact directly with the person who handles the billing, and she just emails me now and then, says, hey, your balance is this. Here's a spreadsheet that shows it to you. Super new, but we're getting super cheap stuff there, okay? Shareaholic. Outbrain, very big. Outbrain, Rev Content. Rev Content seems to be, from what I've seen, allowing anything. So try Rev Content if you want. AdBlade, Content.ad, Instinctive, Nativo, Triple Lift, Ads Native, Sharethrough. That's not supposed to be there. Earnify, MGID, Native Ads, Gravity, Yahoo, Gemini. As you go through these sites I gave you, these ad sites and stuff, or these the news sites that have this stuff, or the super spammy ones, you'll notice sponsored by, and then it'll typically say one of these companies. Okay. So try them out. Try different ones. If one denies your stuff, heck with them. There's 20 more, right? Get the ones that are working with you, that are giving you cheap clicks, that are letting you serve your stuff. It's awesome. Okay, case study, The Motley Fool. Motley Fool is a big company, big old financial information company. This is what they did, okay? The iPhone ones that you saw a few slides back, that was actually The Motley Fool too. The ones that were kind of iPhone, Apple iPhone 7, what? You don't want that. You want Apple's new device. Check it out. Who they're trying to attract with that, it actually didn't say you want their new advice. It was phrased in a way that somebody who's interested in Apple, the company, would click on it. They're trying to attract investors, people who like to buy stock in Apple or want to know what's the latest news about Apple, the dirt, or the latest technology releases, because the Motley Fool is trying to attract financial planners and investing people, right? So what they did is they used a celebrity image. Warren Buffett very much speaks to investing people, right? Most successful investor of all time, most people say. Buffett's empire is in danger, and he knows it. What? If I'm an investor, I got to click on that. Out of curiosity, I need to know what Warren Buffett knows that he's scared about, and so I can know what's going on, so I can invest more intelligently, right? If you're going to use celebrity images, which I think is a great idea, because they already, so if you see a picture, who's a celebrity you guys like? Give me one. Yeah, so if you see a picture of, was it Jordan? Yeah, Jordan Spieth. If you see a picture, it's kind of like a friend, right? I mean, if you think about your reaction, if you're going through Facebook and you see a picture of your friend, you stop and you're like, oh, what are they doing, right? If you see a picture of Jordan, you stop and you're like, oh, what's he doing? Really similar reaction to a friend, almost a warm connection, right? Celebrity images kind of have that effect because we see them all the time in their movies, making their music, whatever they're doing. So definitely use the celebrity image. I mean, I'm no lawyer, so this is not legal advice, but I'm just quoting a government website when I say for the purposes such as criticism or comment or news reporting or teaching or scholarship or research. It's not an infringement of copyright to use a celebrity image, okay? I'm not a little lawyer, check with a lawyer, but that's direct from copyright.gov. So do what you want to do. But what they did is they used a very relevant celebrity image, an awesome headline, to drive to this page. What do you notice about this page that's similar to the ad? Very congruent. I know exactly where I went. I clicked on it and I saw the same thing on the next page. A similar headline, Warren Buffett's fear is your opportunity. Oh, cool. So instead of the fear-based one on the previous got my attention, this one gives me hope. Then I go through the sales letter and it drops me once I read it. It's not that long. It's not a sales letter. It's just like a pre-sale page or kind of a news feeling page. It drops me right on their video sales letter. The Motley Fool. End of the Made in China era. This is what Warren Buffett didn't know or was going to break him, right? And then I watch this video right here. Tells me everything I need to know and why I should be a part of the Motley Fool's newsletter program or whatever, so I can keep in touch with this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how simple it was. Really simple ad. They didn't even make the image. They just found it to a page that just had some paragraphs that sounded kind of newsy. And all throughout that page, there was links and there was buttons and things that drove them to this video sales letter. Easy? So it's just that one step. It's that bottom rung of your value ladder, like Russell was saying. What can we bridge into that? Let's bridge native ad right into that. Okay, cool. Okay, final slide. It's not this one, it's the next one. It's a bonus strategy. Synergy between the platforms. So who feels like today they learned and yesterday a lot of different approaches and strategies, right? A lot of stuff. Okay. And sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of stuff, right? Okay, I want to try to simplify and streamline things for you in what I call the synergy between platforms, okay? So think of it this way. And this is what we do because we're a super small staff, you know, Russell, Brent, and I, and some support people, right? We have our programmers and stuff. But when it comes to the marketing side of things, so this is kind of how we do it. This is how you can do it. So say you get on Periscope this morning or this afternoon and you make a Periscope. Well, right when you click Periscope, especially if you've linked it to Twitter, which it should link to Twitter because it's kind of natively links to Twitter, right onto Twitter is dropped, hey, view my Periscope, right? So you're automatically on 2 platforms. You've created a Periscope. You've created a Twitter post. So all your Twitter followers are now viewing your Periscope. And they're becoming Periscope followers and they're liking you, which increases your organic reach in Periscope, okay? And they're interacting with your Twitter ad, which is increasing your organic reach inside of Twitter, okay? So you're thinking to yourself, oh, and then later on today I got to write a blog post, and later on I got to post on Facebook a bunch, and later on I've got to go make some bridge pages for my dang ad network, for my native ads, right? All this stuff. Well, let's just do it all together. Let's make synergy between these. So make a Periscope video. It gets posted on Twitter. Grab that link, post it on Facebook, tell everybody there. So now you have a Facebook post, you have a Twitter post, you have a Periscope creation. Take that, put it on your blog. Whether you type out what you said in your Periscope or whether you just say, hey, I did a cool Periscope this morning about this thing, watch it, here's the link to the video, or here's the video embedded, right? So still, you've only done one thing, but it's on 1 network, 2, 3, it's on your blog. And then in that blog post, link calls to action. Put buttons and links to your funnel and stuff, to your bridges or your funnels and stuff like that. And so then go and grab an image and put it on a native ad network. And all of a sudden you've got a native ad network running to a bridge page, which is a blog post running to your funnel, and you're on all these different platforms. And so you've done all this advertising with only doing one thing. Cool? Yeah. So it's not that hard. Cool. Well, that's what I had. You guys like it? Cool. Well, I think I went a bit over time. Is there a question or two that's just burning in your soul? Or should we turn the time over to Russell? Question? Yeah. Okay, so your native ad is going to be an ad that says, what's the number one thing you can do to get a flat belly, which I need, right? And it's because Anthony did a Periscope this morning, which talked about flat bellies and the exercises you can do. And so he posted that eventually to his blog with some content. And so it goes right to the blog where they get some content and then a bunch of call to actions to pull them into your funnel. Cool? Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, John Parks.